Or is
Is this one? Okay. Okie dokie. So we're gonna do roll call. Connie Hargis,
here?
Shirley Richards,
Here.
Lashley, Daryl Wilson,
Present.
Todd Hayes.
Here.
Yay. And we're gonna get started with, I have a GRIP invoice. I wasn't able to print out the rest of them. So down at the sewer plant over the weekend, the flow meter died a horrible death. And so they are obsolete.
Down here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And they're obsolete. So our choices is to buy a new one, to buy a used one, or rent one. And we also have two at the north plant, but they're not done using them, so we can't even put those down there. So a brand new one is $9,060, and it has a warranty. A used one is $5,890 with no warranty. And to rent it, $5,890. And to rent it per month was right around $1,590. So 4 months, you're already into the price of the used one. You're past it. So, I don't,
Did Sherry have a recommendation?
she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, we're in luck. There's a council meeting. And we'll let them decide what we probably should do. So,
Yeah, I have a question.
okay.
If it's something we buy new, can we put it in storage or use for those other ones in case they tear down?
Okay, I'm thinking that the new plant will not use this same type. So once we're done with the south plant, we're done. And then, but I did ask her, I said, when's the last time you've had trouble with it? And she thought it was 13 or 14 years ago. So they must last a while. But the one that we are using, they don't even make anymore. So the one that we would rent or buy has a different screen and everything on it, you know, because the other ones are just horribly old.
So what year are we looking at to be complete?
And that's, you know, if we thought we were gonna be done in like 6 months down there, it would be a different story, but it's probably gonna be a couple years, I would think. You know, because we're gonna start with Country Ridge and Rio first.
Okay.
So it's, you know, we're looking at, I don't know, 18, 24 months, probably at least. And that's if everything goes really good.
So we'll need this. Is it a flow meter you said? We'll need that for 2 years? Or are we gonna get the others?
This one can't be used, period.
Can't be used, but it can't be repaired if we're renting one?
Yeah, it can't be repaired because they don't make anything to repair them anymore. And, so.
Has no warranty or anything.
Mm-mm.
So
Do
they,
you know anything about them, Chris, at all?
So it's so again, the flow meter is used for.
Here,
Yeah, I mean. That's so much.
I'll let you read that.
is it at the old plant?
Yeah,
down
yes.
here? Didn't they say that was gonna be one of the first things they
Got rid of.
We're starting,
shut down?
Yes.
To get transition?
but see what, before we can shut that down, we have to lay all the pipe all the way to the new. So that's gonna
So
be,
that's the time period it's
Yeah.
gonna take to rent or
yeah,
buy use.
So this meter's the flow. Is it at the station? The station?
At the south plant.
at the south plant. I mean, I could probably get Sherry on the phone if you guys want to understand more.
I think my concern is, I mean, if you're using. If the data is important or whatever you get from the flow.
Hmm.
I'm aware of situations that I've seen where flow meters just weren't working for some reason or another. And so if you get it put in and it doesn't work and you don't have a warranty, you got to buy another, I guess. And then so it's all risk, right? What's the
Right.
risk and what's the,
And my whole thing is if the north plant has two of them, and let's say we buy the used one and it breaks down before, could we use one of the two at the north plant to replace it? Of course, we'd have to call these people and they're going to charge us to install it. But that's another option. If we've got two behind it, you know, that might,
But we're talking almost 2 years, hopefully.
yeah.
That's not unforeseen things that can happen.
Right.
Since when have you seen anything come in on the time period they promised? it would?
Right. Well, and this first project, I mean, honestly, we're only off by 3 months. So that's really, in my opinion, not that bad.
I don't want to rent.
Oh, no, definitely.
And I
I
don't,
think I know the answer to this question, but
You do?
are they penalized for not meeting the deadline?
I don't know. Is DeBral penalized for not meeting the deadline?
I don't have to look.
Yeah, he would have to look at the
I
contract.
don't know. I would assume there's some penalty or liquidated damages at some point. I just, without looking at the contract, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
So, like I could probably call Sherry if you guys have questions and she could answer them a lot better than I can.
well, I'm just thinking about her and what she's dealing with and
Yeah.
has been dealing with.
Well, she went and the arm also broke off, the whatever. And so they got that fixed. I mean, it's just one problem right after the other one all the time. She's just fighting it, fighting it, fighting it.
What is the flow meter? Does it keep track of how many gallons?
It must be something that is required by the state. I mean, it's something that we can't live without.
what's your recommendation, Kathy?
I wouldn't necessarily care to go with the used one just because we have 2 backups. Once those are done. So I'm assuming then we might be done with the ones in the north in 4 months, right? So if the used one lasted for 4 months, of course, we would have to pay them to put in, transfer them and put them in. But
Are we sure about 4 months, and is that a for sure thing, or is she gonna have to send
Well,
testing and stuff up?
I think they said they'll be done with that plant by the end of March, right? And I guess these flow meters won't be used on the new system.
I think that's right.
The ones that-
Because they're
Right.
obsolete.
Yes.
They don't make them.
Well, the one that we're replacing it with, I don't think those are obsolete. It's a different kind of screen. It's the
But the
one
one
we
down
have,
here,
yeah,
that's
is
not
obsolete.
replaceable.
So that's why we couldn't repair it. Any other time we would have just repaired it, but they don't have any parts for it.
This one looks like it measures your, it's like absolute, but it measures your discharge from the plant. It's coming out in the pipe.
Okay.
Based on the volume in the pipe, it is able to meter and measure how much that is. And you need that for compliance purposes to report. Well, to know what you're discharging.
Do you have any suggestions?
I mean, kind of like I said, my only concern would be if you used one with some guarantee, it's a decent amount of savings. You have to buy another one after that.
Right,
Then you,
unless we could use the ones at the North Plant.
So that's the deal. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
We've got,
2
you
of
say
them.
we have 2 backups, and what you mean by that is in 4 months, we'll have 2
Yes,
backups.
yes.
But not
So
for
if
4
this
months.
used one lasted for
Not-
that long,
So
So if we get a used one and
We
it
get a
quits,
used-
there's no guarantee. We'd have to buy another used one.
but if we rent for 4 months, best case scenario, renting, it's gonna be a good one, has to be. They guarantee it. I mean, it may be a wash,
it's over $6,000, I think.
Yeah.
For 4 months.
but it's a guaranteed fit.
But then you look at from the past, she hasn't really had any trouble for 14 years. Since she's been here, she's not had any issue.
Yeah.
This little guy just probably used up his life.
That's
And she knows it's one of the newer ones because the screen's different. It's not like the one we're replacing.
the used
So,
one. that
yes.
she's talking.
Yes. Is it
Where
digital
does it
screen?
Come from?
Grape.
Is that did it come out of some cities? sewer plant?
No, I don't have a clue. I don't know that it says it on there, does it?
I mean, are we gonna be able to, if we bought the new one, are we gonna be able to say, hey?
Right, and that's what she said, would you guys buy it back? But you know, we may be at the very end of, old plants. You know what I mean? Because everybody's been required to
Everybody has
revamp.
do it.
Yes,
Well, everybody's on life support.
yes. So I don't even know that we could sell it or,
So there's no factory warranty. I suppose they don't, if it just didn't work, would they? Right. Just work right out.
well, I mean, I would think that if they hooked it up and it didn't work, that we'd be like, well, can we have one that works?
Or if we have it a month and it quits.
Yeah. I think we're just,
Between a
facing,
rock and a hard place.
But yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
A decent amount of savings. You don't need a long time.
It's,
and I don't know how the ones are out at the North plant.
If we buy a new one for that one, and something, and that changes, then something breaks down on the north plant, we would be able to use that one if we buy it new.
I think what we're doing is getting a whole new system out there and it doesn't even use this whole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This charge is probably different, so as far as the different.
This project has gone about 3 years too long. So the South Sewer plant's saying, I'm done. Yeah.
we could shine it up after it's done, put it on the sidewalk.
Right? And measure some stormwater.
I mean, I'm okay with either one.
So for 4 months, it'd be $6,360 if we rented.
Let
Just
me-
for 4 months.
Sorry, Daryl, I'll be right back to you.
Yeah.
Because she was gonna send me the new papers. So let me
Okay.
see. If it, make sure that number's
But that's
1,528 is how much it actually
dependent
is.
upon them getting done. before.
1528.
That's
Yeah,
another issue.
yes.
If they don't get all the pipe laid, or if they can't get pipe, or, I mean, there's all kinds of things.
I mean, the reason why I feel like this project went longer is because we couldn't get something.
Yeah.
But really, 3 months for this size of a project really isn't that. It's not Blue Bridge mad,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't care to call her. If you guys have questions for her,
Well, she's the one that has to go down and fix it every time it breaks. So maybe
Right.
we should just ask her. What would be her recommendation?
Okay.
Would that
Did
be,
she give you the opinion that she would just go for the used one?
she
That's
said,
what
I
she
just don't
said.
know what to do. She was gonna make me make the decision, and I said, yeah, the council meeting. Because like, we could just buy the one, but now if we buy the new one at 9,000, I did need the board approval.
yes,
So that's why it wasn't a bad idea to bring it here anyway. You want me to call her really quickly? Do you care if I use your phone? Because I'm,
That's the used one. They'll install it, program it. Is that what the read?
yeah, they make sure
That's not a bad deal there.
yeah, they're the ones that install it.
So if it doesn't work right up front, they say, oh, it doesn't.
Yes, yes.
Do I need to take a recess so you use your phone?
wait,
Oh,
XXX.
No, she's using somebody else's.
There you go.
phone.
okay.
Hi, Connie.
Hey, it's Kathy. Listen, we're right in the middle of the meeting and we're talking about this flow meter. And
Yeah.
so they just had a question or two and wanted to know how you felt about a new one versus renting one versus, the used one. And I told them if we got the used one, then we would have 2 backups from the north plant. If you got a brand new one, we wouldn't ever be able to sell it. We would use it until the plant was closed.
Right.
And then they were wondering if they should rent one until the ones at the north plant became available.
Well, if we do that, that's the same cost as buying that used one that's already down there.
Right.
And the bad
It's
thing,
4 months away. You take 4 times whatever that was, 1,500 and something.
1538.
Yeah, that's the price of the used one that's down there now.
Okay, so she's using the used one now. Since ours broke, they came and installed the new one, the used one today or whenever.
Yes,
Okay,
it was today.
okay. So it is
It's in
working.
there. So
it is so we've already done the deal.
No,
it's-
they just put us something in until we decide what we want to do.
Oh,
Right,
They'll come in and pull this one and put a brand new one if that's what we want to do.
or keep
Right.
this.
Hmm.
So for 4 months, Sherry, it'd be $6,360
If we rent it.
if we rented.
And then
Right.
then we would have to install that, wouldn't we, if that's the case?
Well, these people would come back and,
it's already there.
It's already in there.
It's already there.
We would be
Oh,
renting the used,
It's the same equipment.
Yes.
It's just, we can buy it, we can rent it.
yeah,
either pay
I got it.
6,000
Right.
and they'll come take it when we're done,
yeah. Or they'll take it completely out and put us a new one.
No guarantees.
And I guess the ones at the North Plant are in good condition?
they're obsolete too.
Oh.
Like if something was to happen to one of them, we couldn't get parts for it.
Okay,
but they're working right.
but they're working right now and we would have
Yes,
2
they are.
backups.
Right,
Only until the thing gets shut down.
But the truth is, if we bought the used one, which is cheaper for the 4 months, then we have 2 backups for it. And we would
Right.
still have to pay Grip or whoever, whatever their name is, to come and install, one of them.
right.
I say we just,
So we might as well do the used one, maybe.
yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
That's my.
How do you feel about that, Sherry?
That's my opinion, but I didn't want to, be the one to make the call. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay,
Because I'm getting ready to need a gearbox too. Don't forget about that.
yeah. I told him about that, but I didn't explain that very well either. So I said this big arm thing broke.
Yeah, well, I don't have the details on it, so I don't know if we can rebuild it or if it's gonna have to be new, but it's gonna be high no matter what, so.
So
Right.
The gearbox is,
Okay.
is the arm that you're talking about that broke, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The gearbox makes the arm go round and round real slow
Okay.
and the bearings thin out and yeah, okay.
Okay.
And it's gonna be expensive.
That's me just guessing, but
Yes, Daryl?
Kathy, if this involves a southern plant, right?
Yes.
I'll be more than happy to make that motion when you're ready.
Okay. Do we?
Since I'm from down there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit that older.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a motion to purchase the used flow meter?
I made a motion if we purchase a used flow meter from the southern plant.
Do I have a second?
I'll say,
And Chris, do I need to do a roll call on this? Okay, Shirley, how do you vote? Connie,
I agree.
Todd,
yes.
Daryl.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. Sorry to bother you.
you're fine. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Now she knows fast. Okay, so now we can turn it over to Rochelle. Can you see her?
Okay, first thing.
Can you see her?
Is on behalf of the redevelopment commission, I am presenting their stream plan to you all for 2026. So last year it was completely new. We just took whatever balance they had in their fund and put it in capital expenditures. But for 2026, they're wanting to do a grant program here. So instead of saying that it was going to be spent on capital expenditures, there was actually a spot in this spending plan for other legally permitted grants for the month. So I put their entire balance in that so that they could decide what they were gonna grants and things this year.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the redevelopment committee spending plan for 2026?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Shirley, how do you vote?
I agree.
Connie?
I agree.
Todd?
Yes.
Daryl?
I agree.
All in favor?
Aye. Yes.
Thank you. So next on my list is your meeting schedule. So it's the exact same as what we've always been doing, the second Thursday at 5 p.m. But I wanted to present that to you all for approval as well.
Do I have a motion to accept the meeting schedule for 2026 to remain the same? Do
I'll make the motion.
I have a second?
I'll second.
How do you vote, Shirley? Connie?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yes, I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
So next is ordinance 25-19. It's an ordinance for additional appropriations. I did advertise this in the paper for the amount of time that I needed to. And I am asking for an additional appropriation in our general fund. In the police, their like payroll, their category 1, which is personal services, their payroll and things of 46,000. I am asking for the mowing fund that we did. I'll have to set that up different next year. I think I was supposed to transfer funds into it to pay out because as of, I think, July this year, not appropriated accounts are no longer a thing. Everything has to be appropriated now.
Nice.
So instead of doing that, I'm asking for an additional appropriation in our casino riverboat fund for $1,000 to be able to pay those invoices.
So the mowing is coming out of the casino.
Casino riverboat.
Okay.
And then, before mowing season starts, I will ask you all to be able to transfer into that fund, so then we'll pay invoices. out
Once
of
the
it.
Parks Board approves a mower
Okay.
after they bid.
It's the properties that,
Oh,
yeah, it's that one.
okay.
So you don't.
Not
really
for some-
spend a
okay.
whole lot on it, but I'll ask to
Okay.
transfer a little bit in so we can pay out of there.
Sweet.
And then for our edit fund, I am asking for an additional appropriation of 70,000 out of there. We're not making as much in our part. We're not getting as much property taxes in. And so we're struggling a little bit there. I know when I did the budget, I said, I kind of had to keep things the same. And we're spending a little bit more than what I budgeted, and we would have to kind of figure it out. And that's kind of what this edit additional appropriation is, so that I can move things and pay them out of edit. And then the last one is the Police Community Foundation. They had purchased something, and it didn't get an additional appropriation done, I think. So I've asked for an additional appropriation for 25,000 in their Police Community Foundation donation fund.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? No? Do I have a motion to okay, ordinance 2025-19, additional appropriations? To accept it?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
How do you vote, Shirley? Connie?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
And Daryl?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okey dokey.
Ordinance 2025-20, Chris.
Ordinance 2325 so this is, related to the rates.
Glasses.
We're going to do a ultimately it's part of, you adopted new sewer rates in 2024. The council did that go into effect, would go into effect January 15 of 2026. Those were placeholders for your sewer project. We had to do for SRF, I think, or what will develop one of those. And so those are going to change. When we get the project, all the work done to the project, those will change. So this ordinance delays the effect to May 1st. So they won't go into effect until we have the final rates ready.
You're right, it was for SRF.
Do I have a motion to accept ordinance 2025-20, delay of sewer rate increase from January 15th to May 1st? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Shirley, how do you? Connie,
Yes.
Todd, Daryl,
Yes.
all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
2025-21, Chris has as well. It's a purchasing policy.
Last meeting, you presented with approved policy procurement for federal grants. This one we held because we need time to go over and kind of make sure we have stuff with state law, but this is just you're required, if you want to, you're required to have a small purchasing policy. So this policy basically adopts basic process for small purchases and then restates what is state law for larger purchases. We're talking for supplies, equipment, other types of property. But we kept it pretty straightforward. So this is one of the matters that the city needs to do to satisfy the auditors that they know needed to be done.
So are we allowed to purchase anything below a certain amount? Or does everything?
50,000 is basically the mayor or department heads are authorized to purchase.
Okay. That's a
Subject
big
to
one.
appropriations and subject
one.
to, proper internal approvals.
Mhm.
You don't have to get quotes. You can get quotes if it makes sense,
Oh,
but you don't have to. Over 50,000, you need quotes. Over 150,000, you need bids. But it's all like.
So, but it does have to go through the Board of Public Works and
Yeah.
through the council. Okay.
yes.
Subject, yeah.
Yeah.
All of your other purchasing limits, like employees may have up to 5,000 or something like that. All that stays in place. This is
Okay.
just a policy that says when you have to get quotes and when you have to get bids.
Okay. Sweet. Do I have a motion to accept ordinance 2025-21, the purchasing policy? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Shirley,
I agree.
Connie?
Yes.
Todd, Daryl,
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Now it is
We just have handful more.
back to me
Aye.
for a couple. Okay, let me back up on the Police Community Foundation additional appropriation. It actually was a non-appropriated account too, because it's a donation account,
Right.
but that's why I had to do the additional this year, because now everything has to be appropriated. I think I almost forgot why. Okay. Resolution 2025-7 is transfer of appropriations. This is just the end of the year cleanup that I do with appropriations. So it's just a transfer in the same categories, just to get anything out of the red and use the money that we have in the budget still.
Do I have a motion for resolution 2025-7, transfer of appropriations?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
So,
Shirley,
agree.
Connie,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Daryl,
yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Resolution 2025-8, I'm actually asking for a transfer between funds for this. Our CCNG grants for all of the new road paving that got completed came in under. So they sent us a refund back, for for something that we had overpaid, because we had overpaid a little bit to them when we paid our matching portion. And when I asked State Board of Accounts how I needed to divvy that up, they wanted me to look at everywhere it came from and figure out percentages. So I divvied that all back out. And then when I went and I was doing something for end of the year and I went and looked at our CCMG fund and there's still money in there. So we put in more for our match than what the project ended up needing. So I applied that same formula and I am asking to transfer that money out of CCMG and back into the funds that it came from originally.
So that,
Just to
that
clean that
account
up.
should be zero.
It should be zero.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to accept resolution 2025-8 transfer between funds?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Shirley,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Next is the city attorney contract and Chris has that.
The contract for 26 for SKO. Is same, basically the same contract as last year. Monthly retainers the same, hourly rates increased slightly, partner rate about 6%, associate rate about 4%, and the fairly rate 3%. 65 to 35.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? Do I have a motion to accept the city attorney contract?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Do we have to have? I said,
He was one of the people that voted you into the, on the tree board.
I take my vote back.
Shirley, Connie,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a conflict of interest forms. I don't really know if I need to sign it, but I'm thinking I do since I have two daughters in the city that have businesses. And, you know, my daughter Brittany owns Beverly J. Ellen and my daughter Leah owns Leah James Salon. I don't know if we'll do business with them or if we won't, but I signed a conflict of interest disclosure statement just to make sure. So that, I guess that, what does that do? That just makes sure that the auditors,
Oh, conflict. We talked, Rochelle, I talked about this. I need to look at the definition of conflict because I think it's your
money, if anybody, yeah,
financial interest.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt anything
Right.
to disclose.
and I think sometimes, you know, if we're doing gift cards all over the city, you know, and money's changing hands or whatever, and so I just wanted to go ahead and sign that to make sure. That way I'll be audited. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one.
We didn't vote.
Oh, do
Did
they
we,
have
do
to
we vote
vote?
on that? Okay.
Okay,
Just, she was just sharing.
yes, I was just making it public knowledge.
Okay.
Chris has Baker Tilly's.
Okay.
So this, and I don't, a couple meetings ago or some point we talked about getting a quote from Baker Tilly to do tax analysis for the city related primarily to the tax and other legislative changes, SB1. And so this scope of work and estimate is for that. With they have a list of the services they'll provide, which includes analyzing the impact on the city, legislative changes, estimating net assessed values, tax rates, and levies through 2031, and also analyzing the new local income tax structure and how that's gonna impact the city. These are all, if, you know, in continuing meetings to explain. There's also their proposed, the proposed analysis, proposed annexation area, of the school plan, which that's yet to be
Right.
discussed. So that's not, that's not, if you decided you were going to look at it, that's covered by the scope and abatement savings impact. So if you're dealing with any of those tax abatements, realize that's what this basically gets added to your Bakerton contract. The first two, which are the tax analysis, are 10,000 and 5,000 for the SB1 and the assessments. And the others are estimated not to exceed 4,500 for annexation, $2,000 for abatement. So I believe talking about the first two
Mhm.
and the others would be fair.
Okay,
So this would just gets added to. Those were not just the numbers, not. But so they go by that. It's not. That doesn't. Legislative change. 5,000.
so is this motion so that I can sign the contract? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the contract with Baker Tilly for the tax analysis for SEA 1? Do I have a second?
Sorry.
Shirley,
Yes.
Tommy,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes,
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
I think it will be very, very important.
Otherwise, we're just shooting.
Yeah. Okay, does one more thing?
Like to pay that when it comes in. It's, we probably can go over that again at the next meeting. Too, and figure out, and that'll give me a chance to kind of look at things. As far as where I can pay them, we'll have an invoice before then.
Okay.
Okay,
Meeting for the 8th.
yes. Our next meeting is January the 8th. 8 p.m. And is anybody ready to go home?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
second,
Shirley,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Yeah.
Todd, and Daryl,
yes.
all in favor.
Yay.
Yeah.
I-
Okay.